Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to the Traitors. That's right, we are here to discuss Series 2 of the US series of...
The Traitors, Episode 9.
Yeah, we're nearly there.
We're nearly there. You're bored, are you? We're nearly there. It's almost done.
I do feel from Episode 8 onwards it has slightly gone downhill for me. I am Ben, by the way. I am Ben, by the way.
Oh, hello.
And I am 100% faithful. We need to get that out of the way first.
Yes, hello, I'm Alex. I am also 100% faithful. Still mourning the loss of Bergie. I just want the world to know.
That's my Burgerlicious.
Mm-hmm. He was my Burgerlicious. He was the world's Burgerlicious. Still waiting for that tickets to the cruise liner so I could go and meet Bergie face to face, give him a little nipple twist.
Commented about the cruise on our YouTube. They said the Bergie cruise also has Sandra and Janelle from this series and a bunch of contestants from US Series 1 too. The Bergie cruise.
Don't care. I just want Bergie. Or who actually knows? Series 1.
What if it's Christian?
I was about to say, what if Christian's there? I wouldn't mind seeing Christian as well. I would love some fan fiction before Bergie and Christian.
What, on the cruise?
Yeah, I'd love someone to write fan fiction of Bergie and Christian on the cruise together.
Do
Do you know how they can send it in to us?
No.
They can email us, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter @TraitorsPodcast or go to Instagram @FaithfulToTheTraitors. You can also find us on YouTube if you search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast. And with that, you can ring the bell, subscribe, give us a thumbs up so you never miss any future episodes. And then you can comment underneath the video as well to let us know of your thoughts about the episodes for the US Traitors. Like I say, send us your fan fiction for Christian and Bergie. And if you really love the podcast, not only can you share us with your friends, we like to be shared with friends. We like to drop the key in the bowl and swash them around and pick one out.
Right.
We also like you to go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful and you can throw us the odd silver bar or gold coin our way. That also helps with the show promotion and the just general atmosphere of how wonderful this show is.
That's exactly what Megan did. She got some silver bars for us with a note.
Hi, Megan.
Well, it's nothing to do with you or me.
Hang on, is she American?
I don't know.
Because it's Megan, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're British, so we say Cherie here, remember?
Chim Cherie. Hello, Megan. How you doing?
But before you get too happy, it says this is a tip for your producer.
Oh, Charlie.
Producer Charlie, yeah.
He hasn't even turned up today.
He's asleep.
He's asleep under a blanket in
Once again,
Studio 2.
Once again, producer Charlie is getting all the
He's a fan
attention.
favourite, isn't he? Maybe we should just do an episode where we just have Charlie here. I keep saying we should have Charlie
Very
sat here.
difficult, but
He could give his opinion. I don't know, he's vocal. Every time some characters come on screen, he gets out the odd,
right.
cheer.
Well, you know how you were just mentioning fan fiction?
What, for Bergie and Christian?
Bergie and Christian, yes. The mix
Faithful to the Traitors @gmail.com.
the mix of Series 1 and 2. What about Peter? Adding Peter into the fan
Oh,
fiction?
and Peter.
After his little weightlifting session earlier for 2 minutes?
Did he need the shirt removed for that?
Yes.
That's out there for questions.
That's the Bachelor for you.
I mean, go on, send us a fan
anyway.
fiction. We might do a special episode. If you send us
No,
a
we
fan fiction.
won't.
Yes, we will.
I'm trying to do a link here to a
Okay.
comment. Right, so you mentioned fan fiction. Well, what about this? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So on YouTube, Jess said, "Hey guys, I love your love for Bergie.
Hi, Jess.
Also, here in the US, people are going crazy over thinking about a possible love story between CD and Phaedra."
CT.
CT, what did I say?
CD.
CD, tape. I'm very off. DVD.
tape.
DVD.
I'm going to go out and get one of those newfangled CD tapes.
That was my joke. Right, so at the round table, he said, "I am not here for love. I am here to find traitors," in regards to Phaedra. That was last episode. Which means he thought about love and not getting rid of Phaedra because he's too passionate.
Well, he changed his tune in this episode.
Well, he also said, "I couldn't banish someone who lit my torch." We are all being silly, but we love thinking about a love connection there. And that comment was in my head when I was watching this episode. And when they got back from their game out of the taxis, when they were going back into the castle, they did a quick cut and CT and Phaedra had her arm linked with CT as they were going into the castle. So I've been watching, so,
Maybe there's love.
that's where the real fan fiction is, by the way.
Maybe there's love over a plate of macaroni and cheese. And cilantro. That's right.
That's what
Cilantro.
Peter wanted.
I was trying to remember what we call cilantro, actually. I was meant to look that up before we started.
Was it a sausage?
No, it's not a sausage, although Peter
Bit of
sausage
meat.
I'd love a bit of Peter sausage. No, cilantro.
Every time Peter's mentioned, all I have is sausage on the mind.
Cilantro is, I do know, is that it's really annoying me.
Is it a sauce? A dip?
No, it's a herb.
Oh.
Cilantro.
Mixed
I
herb.
can't even spell it. How do you cilantro?
Yeah, because Phaedra wasn't very happy with the mac and cheese. It was a bit dry for her. She wasn't too impressed, but, we can't please everyone. So we're going to open the episode because we had the dungeon dilemma, is what I'm going to call it, where there was the big decision which left us on our...
Coriander.
Oh, it's coriander?
Yes, that's what the Americans
Well,
call
with
cilantro. Cilantro, sorry, cilantro.
Okay.
Coriander.
Whatever floats your boat,
Coriander
Peter.
is kind of, don't know. So carry on, I just jumped
Anyway.
in. My bad.
So Kate had the decision to see if she wants to be a traitor or to be murdered.
Yep.
Her and Phaedra were just camping up the cameras for quite a lot of filming.
It's hell, wasn't it? That scene in the dungeon. It was like, right, Kate, do you want to be? But Kate, again, showed absolutely
I know.
no kind of like emotion whatsoever.
The one thing she wanted from series 2, which she didn't get, she now got. And then when she got it, she
didn't want
upset.
it. Yeah.
So there's no pleasing that woman. But I do feel that Kate has pulled down Phaedra as a traitor instantly.
Well, Kate feels like Phaedra's pulled her down.
No, but just the way that they were both acting in the turret, I was like, I just don't like Kate. I just can't get over it. And she pulls everything down around her in this vortex of negativity and mehness.
But she's got no participation again, apart from her one little voice she had last episode. Again, this episode, there was really not much to her again.
Like,
So
no
if
one's
she-
questioning if she's a traitor because no one's talking to her.
This is what I'm saying. If she was a traitor or not a traitor, it doesn't really matter because she's not participating in the game anymore. So again, like you say, kind of in a weird way, I suppose it helps Phaedra out because Kate doesn't really care.
Yeah,
But
now
Kate-
she's going to be the last one, isn't she? And it's just this whole thing is
It does look that way.
going downhill
Really.
extremely
And then
quickly.
maybe we should be pleased with that because I feel like if it was Kate left the last traitor standing, that I think that the Faithful have got a very good chance of winning this. And we prefer a Faithful win, let's be
That's
honest.
true,
We
but
do prefer a Faithful
just the second when Kate was there and she was like, right, so who are we murdering? She was like, well, Kevin's, I don't like him. It's like, what does that mean or gain or
Well, actually,
annoys
that's
me?
not strictly what Kate
Well,
said.
it's something that
She
just
said
says
he was
ridiculous.
annoying.
Exactly. It's like,
But she also wants to get rid of Peter for the same reason. I feel like Kate has a real problem with men.
why have a problem with Kate? I don't
No.
mind people having a problem with men. That's fine, but it's just
No, that's not true because she likes John. She loves John.
that's true.
But although Phaedra had a bit of a go at John, didn't she? She lost her cool, didn't she, at the round table? But I guess that's neither here nor there right now. But yes, no, Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin.
it's just I don't really care about Kevin. His voice keeps changing. Last episode we noticed that, didn't it? He was talking in the castle, and then they cut to him doing a bit to camera, and he was like a different voice.
I don't remember that.
It was like what? And then I noticed
Things happen.
when he read out his murder message, I was like, oh, his voice changed again. So I don't know.
I like that he said, like at the end, do I get to keep the? Because that's exactly how I would think. I said that one clip at the end made me like Kevin. At the very last minute, I was like, "Oh, Kevin, no, I wish you had."
Kind
stayed."
of like the only. I don't really like saying that he's been murdered. Will you miss him from the game? I'm struggling to think of what he did for 8 episodes.
No, he didn't do much. Let's be
No,
honest,
but
he didn't do much at all. But at the same, so I suppose in a way, it surprised. I have to say, it surprised me that they didn't go for Trishelle. I was really certain that Trishelle was going to be gone.
Yeah, well, it's that old favourite that I like bringing up this series of the producer intervention. Because usually when there's one traitor left and they have to recruit, they're not allowed to murder.
That surprised me. Yes, when that happened as well. So after the recruitment happened, they then went back up to the
Yeah,
top
to murder.
and then started choosing a murder.
That's not the rules.
Now, the only thing I could think of, and you shouldn't be upset with this because this is something you do say quite often, is that it's too obvious then how many traitors there are left in the game by doing that. So perhaps that's what the production crew wanted to happen. They didn't want them to know that there's now 2 in the game.
I'd like to rebuttal that with a reply.
You may.
The only reason they
Right,
did
John, you've been hanging around with the Burpee for too long, haven't you?
he was literally doing Parliament. Anyway, what
I
was
love
I
his
saying?
speeches. I think his speeches are great. I think they're epic. It's like, give him a career in movies.
He's
I'm
well
telling you.
trained.
Yeah.
The thing is, the producers decided to do this. You can now murder, even though you've recruited a traitor. Do you know why?
Go on, I'm sure you're
What
going to
was
tell
the
me.
traitor that was recruited?
Kate.
There you go. And they were like, oh, can't have this. She needs to stay in.
Oh,
Let's
so they're
not-
doing
let's
it to
not
protect
let
her
them-
rather
Yeah.
than to protect the game.
Yes.
I'm
I'm sure something's going on with
the thing is,
whoever
I think
produces the American
whatever
series.
they do, if it involves Kate in any form, you're going to say, well, that's not fair play.
Yes, I am.
Because you have to admit, though, this is something that you've always said that you wish that, because it looks too obvious when they recruit, that there's now more traitors in the game. Than...
Yes, but that's the rules. You can't just change them.
But
not
you
Big
wanted
Brother.
the rules changed, but because the rules have been changed with Kate in mind,
Kate's favour, yeah.
you're now not liking the rules and you're disgusted by them.
Also, an update on YouTube. Thanks everyone who keeps commenting, replying to our questions that we pose.
Oh yes, find us on YouTube. Don't forget to do that.
Yes, they are all paid.
Oh yes, I asked last episode whether they're paid to do the show. So that's what I mean. So why aren't they giving them money to charity?
They are being paid. Janelle said it was a lot.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, so they're getting paid a lot for this, and then that's why.
How much is a lot for a 2-week work? For some, 2 days.
Well, this was from Janelle, who's from Big Brother. So it depends if the lot is to her what is the same as it is to Phaedra.
What would you do for 2 weeks? How much would you demand for 2 weeks' work?
Or if I'm a
Of
Bravo.
what you are right now? No.
I'm not a Bravo woman.
Well, we'll do 2. So
For my chat, am I a gamer? My Bravo?
No. So the first is you're just someone who does a podcast about the show, and you've been asked by US version to do it. And the second one is that you're under the contract of NBC Universal, Comcast, whoever owns
They
them.
can't find a show for me.
They can't find a show for you. You've done Real Housewives
I
of
keep getting
Scotland.
drunk and pregnant.
Yeah.
That's what to do.
Yeah, you've had your baby live on the internet. How much? So for the first one, then you're just a podcaster. How much would you demand for £2,000? This could be pitching. We're pitching.
£2,000.
Not 2,000, about 2 weeks. What would you do for 2 weeks?
$50,000.
$50,000.
Yes.
That's 25. That's hang on, 11 episodes. So you make the whole 11 episodes.
Well, I'm getting it per episode.
How much? $50,000.
For the total.
No, the total.
Yeah.
50,000. That means for each episode, you're asking for $4,500.
That's about right. I bet that's correct for a lot of them.
Wow.
I bet it is.
I would be happy with 5. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it for 5. £5,000 for 2 weeks' work. Thank you
Someone
very much.
said on a podcast I listened to,
I think 5's greedy.
she did an episode of Stars in Their Eyes, and this was in the 90s, right?
Oh, it was
got-
Matthew
I
Kelly.
don't know, just Stars in Their Eyes. She was Dolly Parton. She got paid $4,000 then, or £4,000 then. And that was in
Who
the
did
90s.
this? Who did this?
Sally, what was her name?
Reynolds?
No. She was from Corrie, the blonde woman. She's in like lots of murder mystery shows now.
Oh, yeah, she's on that Channel 5 show when she plays the Dithery
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
Sally Lindsay.
Yes.
So she got £4,000 for one episode of Stars in Their Eyes, and that was 8 years ago. So I think £50,000 for a series of Traitors on streaming.
Okay,
I bet that's correct, if not more.
$50,000 for doing 2 weeks' work.
I want them to like publicly say what they got paid, so we can rank them. If how much they got paid, who got paid the most?
The thing is, it's not on a publicly
I know.
owned channel, so technically they don't have to. It's not like the
Guess.
BBC. Good
I
old
bet
Beeb.
Tamra got paid the most, even though she went really early.
Well, are we guessing? Clearly, not a lot happened on this episode, by the way. Hence why we're talking about pay packets.
It did.
I think. Who do you think got paid most?
Tamra. Don't know why. Housewife, she went like second or third.
I reckon John Burko got quite a bit.
Really?
He's
Well, his will
known.
be public next year, so I'll be looking at.
That's true. He's quite well. Well, no. Why are we kidding ourselves? You know who got paid the most? Kate. That's why they're trying to protect
better
her
not
all
have.
bloody time. She's probably on court. She probably got through $250,000 just being there. So that's what I mean. They don't need the prize money. So give the prize money to a charity.
This is where my point that I started about 10 minutes ago
Yes.
goes to,
Continue.
is that it just ruins this type of game doesn't suit it, because
No.
they doesn't suit them going around going, I'm a Bravo person, so we're going to
I'm a Bravo
It's just
gal.
like, I hate it all.
Well, this is what Trishelle actually said to MJ in today's episode, that like no matter what we say to you or Chim Chim Cherie, you're always going to vote against Phaedra. You're never going to vote for to say that Phaedra's a traitor, despite her being a traitor or not.
Which they proved when Cherie voted for Peter this round.
Well, Cherie didn't deny it, to be fair, but MJ did, which made the twist at the end of the episode, which way, one way or the other. Sandra's disappointing me. I mean, I get that she's like this brilliant mind of Survivor, won twice already, not too good on the physical challenges, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like she's kind of like deliberately going against Peter for the sake of going against Peter. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think she inside her, she knows Peter's right, but at the same time, she doesn't want Peter to win. So she's deliberately going against him. Again, taking the game away from being about finding traitors and being more about a popularity contest.
Yeah, I mean,
the only one
shows as well, because like Sandra from Survivor, we had Dan from Big Brother, and when the cast was announced, all the fans were going wild, like it's going to be the best series ever because they're such amazing game players. And it's like all it shows is that it doesn't matter if you've been on Survivor or Big Brother because it doesn't count anything.
It's not the same game. Exactly.
And like all of them just end up like Dan's like gone into retirement again or something, hasn't he? Apparently,
I don't know.
He's like,
I
I'm
don't
not doing any other show. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm distraught after doing Traitors.
It's like, so I feel like it's a bit dodgy. If you're like a fan favorite on Big Brother, don't do Traitors because you just end up playing a boring game and not doing anything. It's not the same thing.
I say this all the time on any celebrity version of the show. It's that it's not the same as Big Brother. It's not the same as Survivor. This is a different game to play. It's not about making alliances. It's not about making friends. The only one who seems to have figured that out is CT. CT, to his
Going
credit,
against his secret lover.
he's going against his secret lover Phaedra, and he says himself, like, I see you as a friend. Even Peter said that as well to Phaedra tonight. Peter said, like, I see you as a friend, despite you saying some really catty remarks to me over the round table tonight. Although Phaedra was scrambling
this episode.
She was scrambling this
I
episode.
do blame Kate.
Is it? Yes, Kate.
She's influenced her not to be as smart as she normally is.
I think, but the thing is that Phaedra's not got any support network. Like Parvati, give her credit. She did used to support her fellow traitors until they all started jumping on her. Dan to some extent did, but Kate should be straight away like jumping and saying, oh no, Phaedra and fighting Phaedra's corner. She's not. She's just sitting there giving a smile every now and then.
She didn't vote for her though. So there is that.
Well, yeah, but you could say then the same about Sandra and
She's probably voting because Peter's annoying, so it doesn't really.
No, she has said that.
Yeah.
She doesn't like Peter.
Exactly.
That's what I said earlier about her and but she likes John. But she has no opinion on CT, I believe. But like Kate isn't defending Phaedra. While Trishelle, despite Trishelle, Peter and John being reduced in numbers, and they admit that, and they felt like they were in a bit of a losing curve now, they still are able to support each other. And they're still able to get some support their way too, i.e. CT. CT's kind of supporting Trishelle, be it they were on the same show, or what he said was because the game that was played, that Phaedra went for a completely different target, and it seemed to come out of nowhere.
That's the bit I am enjoying watching the most is Trishelle and Peter's gameplay. Peter's pumping in this room. Of weights,
yeah.
And the gameplay that Trishelle and him are doing, I think it is interesting. And John has come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's not a bumbling idiot like we thought.
John's a real surprise for me.
Yeah.
And to be fair, maybe John was played it the right way. John was really quiet, and we both said at the beginning, like, John just doesn't want to be there. But actually, no, he's a good support. Trishelle, Peter's Angels have reduced in numbers. We get that. But at the same time, I feel like because Peter's kind of been knocked down a few pegs the last couple of episodes by his weird kind of grouping with Parvati and Dan, and so people are kind of like pushing him into the accusations a little bit more. I feel like John and Trishelle have been able to step forward more, and so as a trio they're a lot stronger. And even Trishelle said in this episode to Peter, let John take the lead this time, because people
listen around the round table.
People are more.
He does say stuff convincingly, but he was using all the training he's been given in Parliament.
May I
say, tell he's had media training.
Oh, well, he doesn't need media training. He's an MP.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you can tell he's had the train that MPs get trained. He's had that to be able to do that pitch.
He's able to. He's what MPs are good at doing. Members of Parliament,
lobbying.
Lobbying. But the way you lobby is by painting a picture for people. So you say, right, this is a problem. This is why it's a problem, and this is how we're going to solve it.
Even though you don't agree with it, stick with me.
Yeah.
He was literally doing lobbying, which is,
and the way John did it was very kind of parliamentary. I think Phaedra was a bit unfair to John, saying like the way you're doing it is that way, because actually as a solicitor, Phaedra should actually be doing the same kind of tactics.
She normally does.
Well, and that's why I've said in this episode she scrambled. She should be saying why she believes something, why that's come about, and then giving a counter argument for why she's right. And she didn't do that while John did. So it showed John as being a much stronger and believable kind of person to follow, in my opinion. And it just, but like you say, Cherie, Chim Cherie, and Sandra weren't going to have anything of it. The only one,
Sandra really let me down with her vote. I was just like,
I was.
sake. But like, I do think Phaedra, I'm not sure there was much else she could do, because this was the second night in a row where she had to defend herself. And I do Phaedra. And I do just think, no matter, I know how.
Third night, she
the third night.
Well, Parvati went for her 3 episodes ago. 2 episodes ago. Last episode, Trishelle went for her. And as it's been building up, you can see Phaedra's getting, because we both said that Phaedra was doing a real good job at defending herself, but this time, no, she was scrambling.
I mean. Yeah, you can tell scrambling. You've kind of run out of
rope.
Yeah, which is a shame. But I do feel this episode she did show herself as more of a weaker traitor than I thought before.
I don't know if you have it as a soundbite, but it's John's quote of the week. I think we need to do a quote of the week for John. We should have started this weeks ago, quite honestly. But this week, I lolled.
What was it?
John said, "People are going for me like a ferret in a sock."
Ooh.
A ferret in a sack, sorry. Ferret in a sock. Like a ferret in a sack. I mean, not only is that very a British
That was in Peter's room, wasn't it?
Right, I'm going to tell you, if I'd like to see his ferret.
Such a pervert.
Why do I turn into a pervert when the flipping camera switches on? For half an hour, I turn into a perverted old man. I do. Give me that Bruce de Bergie. People are going for me like, it's just such a British topic, like thing to say. It's like, so there's a game, isn't there, where you have to whack a ferret in the country fairs, like the church fairs.
Not a real ferret.
It's not a real ferret. We must make that clear.
So you like drop it down the tube and it shoots.
It goes down some gutter piping, and they have like a toy ferret. If you ever come to the UK, go to a church fair. And they have like a ferret.
Well, there might be a mission next week, which is it. Who knows on this
Whack
show?
Peter's ferret.
Before we talk about the mission, because we have to, because it was so high budget.
It's the most awful mission ever.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Oh, Kevin. Oh my God, sorry,
Who's
Kevin.
Right, so Kevin.
Yes.
A model and fitness professional.
Tick, tick.
Twit twoo. Kevin is the breakout star of the reality show Bling Empire.
Breakout star.
Kevin came from a middle-class family and was
middle class. Gosh, he must have really had a hard time.
I heard on the radio today, Bernie Sanders said that America don't have classes and they don't say middle class in America. So
not
strange.
in the same way as the UK do.
And he is a frequent commentator on the excess that is around him during Bling Empire. So, although he's on a show called Bling Empire, so it's all very odd.
Bling Empire, by the way, I've never heard of it. It's on Netflix, apparently.
Oh.
And there's a new one called Bling Empire New York that launched last month.
Lovely. I have to watch that. I can't wait.
Please do.
This perfectly positions him to do the same on the Traitors and perhaps exploit the less savvy around him, all for his own gain.
Can I just ask, is his surname Creeder? Kevin Creeder, KK?
Yes.
According to Wikipedia.com, .org, sorry, Kevin Creeder was born in South Korea but adopted and raised in Philadelphia, male model. There you go.
Well, the tight t-shirts gave it away.
Unfortunately, though, he is not an executive producer of the show, so
he won't be back for Series 3.
No, we won't be.
What would you do if Kate was on Series 3? Well, let's not talk. We'll talk about that on the final, because I'm sure she'll be there.
Will there be a series? Oh, yeah, there is a Series 3, isn't there?
Yeah, starring Kate.
Maybe Kate will end up being the one who owns the wooden cabin.
Or presents it.
No, Alan Cumming is a good presenter.
We saw Lala this week in The Mission.
Yeah, we've seen her since Series 1. Series 1, Episode 1.
No, we saw her again in another episode. Someone said we forgot to mention Lala on the second episode she was in.
Hi, Lala. Shout out to Lala.
But yeah, the mission was in a church. A lot of them were a bit worried about going into a church or something. I don't know what that was about.
Well, there was a discussion of when they last went to church, and two of them said Sunday.
I know, I was like, pardon?
What?
The filming of this seems very odd. What do you mean? What were you doing on Sunday? You went to the Traitors.
They're very religious in America.
Yes, well, Kate's religious and she was scared because she was a traitor. She had to lie, but she didn't want to go into church because she can't lie in church.
Yeah, but Kate, I'm sorry, but flip off. Just shut up, Kate. You are not. I'm sorry, no. Other than for christenings and I don't know what, you do not go to bloody church every Sunday.
Well, someone went on Sunday for a funeral.
I think someone Chim Cherie.
I think it was, yeah. So she must have flown out church and then flown back to him.
Yeah. They do get a day's break. Sundays. There you go. They do get a day's break when they're filming. We found that out, didn't we? So they do 6 days in a row. This is just some behind the curtain stuff. We found out they do 6 days in a row. So they film Monday to Saturday, then they have Sundays off.
Right.
But I don't think they're meant to be leaving the production.
No.
But obviously, Cherie.
It's America, so they can do what they want.
That's true. They do, and they do. Yeah.
Okay, so the mission was like this weird, because this was the same mission they had on the UK series too. And when we were watching this, and because series UK and America have the same missions for some reason, because they're filmed at the same time.
It's because it's the same production company, so they're saving money.
And we were like, surely on the American one, when they do this version, it's going to be really high budget.
Yeah, for the flames coming from the
But
boat.
they did it on Australia series 2, and it was really good. It was outside. That was the difference.
I mean, we don't get the weather like Australia.
It was outside, and they had this big crossbow, and it was like...
Roger was there with his jodhpurs, his high leather boots.
Yeah, and it was so much more impressive. And then on this one...
Fan fiction for Roger, also welcome.
Is he on the cruise ship too, is he?
I hope so.
Roger Corser, that is, we're talking about.
The Australian host of Traitors.
And the arrow, it was like this little wooden peg, and it sort of shoots out a little bit.
It's so
and
it's
just
like
like...
limper than my hand. It just goes boom.
I know, it's so camp. So we were expecting like an explosion or a fire or something. But
I would have had a good
on the American series, but we didn't get it.
an explosion for no reason would have done me. Like I would have watching Lala parachute from a helicopter would have done me.
But it was so casual. Lala was asleep in a basket under it.
That's
like,
true. Nothing shot
such peril. But there was some like cult members who walked Alan in. I suppose that was a bit different.
Well, they didn't
with
do
their
that.
poles. So the lore continues to grow with the cult members.
We really do need to do an actual episode where we talk about the lore of the traitors. Because we talk about it all the time, like who's father, who's uncle.
Exactly.
Roger
So-
Corser is like the great uncle of Claudia Winkleman.
Well, we won't go into it now, but there was
One day we need to
added
do that.
lore today because
Mm.
we saw cult members following Alan.
So is the traitors like a world? Is it like the Masons? Is it like a worldwide cult?
Of course it is.
Is it going to be? Are we going to find like there's
It's a
like
blood cult because they murder people.
What's that film with Nicolas Cage, National Treasure? Are we going to find out that like the whole of the United States was built on the cult of the traitors?
Maybe.
Terrifying.
Do you think if Kate was murdered, because Kate was banished in series 1, not murdered, she came back in series 2?
She can't be murdered now.
Yeah, so she's gonna be in series 3. I wonder if she's murdered, because they go on and they actually pretend they're actually dead. If you're murdered, you can't come back for another series.
Oh, but so you're saying that they need to kill Kate?
Yes,
cut her head off so it doesn't grow back.
kill Kate.
It's the only way to get rid of Kate.
Right. So the round table was where we thought it was going to go. It was between Phaedra and Peter.
Exactly like that, eh?
Who has the shield? It was
No one. Oh, CT.
Yes, that was it. Yes.
CT got the shield.
And CT kind of said to Trishelle he was a bit suspicious because Phaedra moved the target to Trishelle, so that made him vote for her.
Well, on 10 attempts, they were trying to get the top left-hand corner. And then, to be fair to Phaedra, Sandra was the one who suggested it. No one seemed to point that out. Sandra was the one who said, oh, go for Trishelle. And Phaedra was like that. Yeah,
CT
that's
did.
what I'm doing.
CT said Sandra to Trishelle, but they said, we can't mention her name. Let's go for Phaedra. That's what they said.
Well, CT could have said it because CT then said to Trishelle that Phaedra is the one who moved it.
Yeah, I know, but he said Phaedra was looking at Sandra.
Oh, okay. Oh,
and
right.
Trishelle said, yeah, I think
You're
Sandra
right.
too, but we can't mention it.
well, absolutely right.
So they went for Phaedra in the end, and we left on a cliffhanger where we don't know the result, which is the most annoying of all edits,
Do you think
which I hate.
Do you think CT basically changed his opinion then and went for Phaedra because he knew he was protected? That's interesting. I wondered if
Maybe he
CT
couldn't get murdered.
Yeah, I wonder if CT would have been quite so aggressive at the round table if he wasn't immune.
This was also the first time where we've had someone use their chalkboard as a prop.
When
When he started writing, I thought,
what he was doing.
oh, he's writing his name now. He was like Peter. As he was talking to Peter, I was like, oh, you. But no, he was doing
You
a little
bitch.
he was doing a little diagram.
I have to say, I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, hello, CT, you're doing something special
Secret
here.
messages.
No, I enjoyed that. I think that I don't know. I think that MJ, though, she's basically, there's 4 votes each for Peter and Phaedra. MJ is the deciding vote.
Who's done Peter? Sandra, Cherie, Phaedra, and Kate, isn't it?
Yep.
And Trishelle, Peter, CT, and John have done
Phaedra.
So it's all down to
So it's
MJ.
down to MJ. And
Who
there was,
keeps walking into rooms in comical fashion.
well, she was giving Kate tips of how to tiptoe as well, so she could listen into a conversation, not knowing that Kate could have manipulated that whole conversation. That was something I was meant to mention. Phaedra accused Peter at the round table of trying to start an alliance together. Peter said, we didn't really hear the whole conversation, but we're pretty certain that wasn't the conversation that was
It was
had
just a
between them.
private conversation, basically.
Peter said, no, you're lying. Kate was there listening to the conversation. Again, Kate had an opportunity there to then say, no, I listened to that conversation and Phaedra was right. You did say that.
But she didn't. She didn't say anything.
That's what I'm saying. Kate's not got her back. So Phaedra's kind of made a mistake there. And Kate also accused Phaedra of not having a plan. But Kate, I think even if she had a plan, I don't think Kate would stick to it. Kate's like a renegade, but it's just the worst.
It was a really bad decision this was by Phaedra. She should have went with Cherie, like her best mate or whatever. But...
Do you think then that MJ, because MJ said to Trishelle that she's not a sheep, she doesn't follow the Bravo girl, she does her own decisions, she's going to make her decision when she gets to the round table. Trishelle was like, good, I'm glad about that. Maybe, follow it up and actually think before you do anything. She didn't say anything at the round table, but she did sit there looking very like, she had little notes in her head.
Oh, it depends I think John was who she was waiting to hear. She said, I'll hear at the round table and that will make me decide.
Okay.
It's going to be down to John's speech versus Phaedra, but Phaedra gave a weak speech this episode for the first time.
But then MJ's not been known to kind of like be smart enough to kind of like stick it to the crowd, does she?
True, but we are always forever hopeful, of course.
I love MJ, don't get me wrong, but MJ's one of the worst players in this series. She is. I'm sorry, but she is a terrible player at this game.
Kate, yes.
Well, Kate's not playing. So for someone who's actually trying to win the game, MJ, so I likened her to Meryl from Series 1, who lucked her way.
There is always a Meryl in every series.
But, well, MJ's a bad Meryl. But bad Meryl in the sense that she's...
In that case, Meryl's Meryl...
MJ... Don't spoil it.
I'm not, I'm talking about MJ.
Okay.
In that case, MJ's getting to the final because...
You just spoil... There you go. What? Don't spoil anything. Well, just like Meryl.
I did say like Meryl.
Well, we've likened her to Meryl, and you said in this case... Well done. Right. Well, everyone, please point out that Ben made a mistake this time because I get so much hate for spoiling everything.
I said there's a Meryl in every single series.
And like Meryl, MJ might and
get to the final.
So like Meryl, how
because
dare you?
Basically, bad faithfuls get to the final is what I'm getting at here.
Don't backtrack.
That's what I'm getting at.
Who is MJ going to vote for, Phaedra or Pia?
Phaedra, she's going to prove you wrong.
I think she's going to vote for Phaedra too, I have to say. But that then leaves Kate as the sole, and she can't. I don't think she'll be allowed to recruit.
And she will. There can never be one. There always has to be two, doesn't
They can, because it's the semi-final, so no one gets banished on the last episode until the final.
If Kate wins this series, I can't actually explain to you how annoyed I'm going to be.
Kate won't win. If Kate's the sole traitor, she will not win. I'm telling you that now. And unfortunately for Phaedra, she's done so much damage, or so much damage has been done to her on this round table, that even if Peter is eliminated at the beginning of the next episode, I think the fingers are already squarely on Phaedra. The only one who's in danger is Sandra, because she's kind of got herself with Phaedra in a kind of weird way. I don't know why.
Kate hasn't spent any time building relationships or friendships with anyone. I don't feel like so.
No.
There's no even if she was in the final, she couldn't exactly rely on someone to like, let's go to the final together.
No.
So yeah,
the only people she could rely on is maybe getting Sandra's trust, which I don't think Sandra's that. I don't think she's that weak to see through that. She might be able to manipulate MJ, and Cherie might be like Bravo girls, and so might go on that one.
I am worried that this series is pittering out into a damp squib. Is it not squid?
Nope, it's squib.
What's a squib?
No idea. I don't know.
Are you sure? I've got the damp squid.
It is damp squib.
Yeah, but I want to know what a squib is.
Squib. Yeah, damp squib.
What is a squib?
I don't know, but damp
squid or squib, it says.
A firework that fails to go off due to wetting. So do you think Kate's going to fail to go off due to being wet?
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of people think it's squid.
But it's not a squib.
I know, but I wasn't the only person who thought it was a squid.
Again, I'm not accusing you of being the only person in the whole world.
Well, I think Kate is going to be a damn squid. No, I just worried that this series peaked. It was good, sort of episode 6, 7-ish, and I'm just worried that it's going downhill.
I have to say, I'm sorry, but I have to say that I don't agree with you. I actually really have been enjoying this series a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy this series. And to be fair, when we watch The Traitors, it's normally around episode 7 and 8. We both say, ooh, it's going down a little bit. But then it always perks up on the final episode or final couple of episodes. So
I won't quote Taylor Swift yet then.
Okay. So if you feel like it's doing that, then I think this is just a natural reaction for you. But for me, actually, genuinely, and it's been a pleasant surprise as well, this American Series 2, I think is quite rightly being liked and favoured by a lot of people. It's been a good series for the American version.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would love Americans to do a non-celebrity version.
Same.
I would like to see that. Or at least if you're going to do a celebrity version, don't have them just people who appear on NBC shows, because it's just getting a bit tired.
I know.
I don't have Kate.
If they want to do
every
that,
series.
just make a series of Survivor, do Bravos versus Gamers. The two tribes, okay?
Straight
do
versus
that.
gays. That's what they should do.
That would be the Gamers versus Bravos. The Bravos are the gays, of course.
Of course.
Right, so if anyone wants to get in touch and let us know what they think of this series and if they think it's good, bad, different to the other.
And fan fiction.
Yes.
Fan fiction involving
pervert
Ogie, Peter and Kevin. And then
Fan fiction for the pervert.
go to faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can send us an email. We will read them out and discuss them. If you go to Twitter, don't forget to say hello to us on there as well, @Traitors Podcast, Instagram @FaithfulToTheTraitors. You can also watch us on YouTube, so you can watch this podcast. If you're listening to us right now and thinking, God, you're offensive to my ears, I wonder what you look like, then go to YouTube and search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast, and you can find us there. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, so you never miss any future episodes of this or any other series of The Traitors. You can also subscribe on any of your favourite podcast apps. And as usual, I ask you to share us with your friends, give us 5 stars and comment to say why you've given us 5 stars for the podcast. And you can also help the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and you can throw a few silver coins, gold bars, cat treats, producer treats our way.
Lovely then.
Very grateful, by the way. Thank you to everyone.
Is it
who
the
listens.
semi-final next week, is it?
I think it's a semi next week, and then the final the week after that.
Well then, until then everyone, make sure that you stay faithful. Goodbye.
See ya.